Good morning. I thought I might do a little quick video this morning. It is Saturday. That would be February 11th? Nope, 13th. I think. Yeah. All right. The situation is scary, especially with the censorship that's going on. It's really interesting what's going on. I don't consider myself a conspiracy theorist. I consider myself a conspiracy factist because conspiracies happen. Conspiracies happen all the time. If you talk to Robert David Steele, an ex-CIA agent, he said that false flag operations are what they do. Infiltration is what they do. They can take a group, like for instance the Proud Boys or BLM, and they can infiltrate with, agents that will pretend like they're really into the cause and want to really help and do something. And what they do is they can steer the organization to go a certain direction. If they are very adamant and pumped up, they can turn an organization violent, and it's possible. And what they do is they can turn an organization violent, cause a few problems, and what that does is that will label the organization as a violent organization. It happens all the time. That was what happened with the situation with the Black Panthers. That's what happened with different organizations like BLM and Antifa, and even the situation that happened at the Capitol building on the 6th of January. If you look at some of this footage, look at some of these, the stuff that happened is very strange. It doesn't look like a normal, spontaneous event. It looks orchestrated. If you look at some of the film clips, because there's a lot of it, you can see that was like some people in charge. Some people were saying, okay, do this, do that, move here, don't touch that. And there's people saying things like, they're actors. These guys are not real policemen. And then you got one guy that actually looks at his badge on his shoulder to see if it's fallen off or something, or what it even says. So it's very odd. I shouldn't be laughing because this is freaking serious. So what they do, a peaceful protest, and they can turn it into a mob. It doesn't take very many people to do that. And there's been a few investigative reporters that have looked into the background of some of the people that were in the Capitol building and were arrested, is that some of these people had really bad financial hardships, lost their homes, they were in bankruptcy, they had tax liens. It's really interesting because that's the same thing that happened to me, and it creates a lot of anger and resentment. If you look at the situation that happened in 2008 and 2009, when the economy crashed, my business tanked. I had nothing to do with the real estate. I was selling and servicing equipment for printers. But all the printers stopped paying bills. I had receivables I couldn't collect. After struggling, I ended up having to file for bankruptcy. I got out of my building, laid off all my employees, and tried to keep it going for a while. Then we couldn't make the payment on our home, so we struggled for about 2 years with Deutsche Bank, and they kept saying, oh, well, we lost this paperwork, or you need to come in with fingerprints, and they just drug it out, and finally we just had to sell the house for whatever we could get to get out from under it. That creates a lot of anger and hatred because the Wall Street bankers crashed the economy on purpose. They did it. They know exactly what they were doing. That's why they had GlassSteagall canceled in 1999 by Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton was not a good president. He he did things that the Republicans couldn't do. Welfare reform, NAFTA. I mean, all of these programs just devastated the American economy. So when you have a situation where the Wall Street bankers crash the economy, and then the government comes in and gives them billions and billions of dollars, and then they have big parties and give themselves all big bonuses, and then we get nothing, that creates anger and hatred. I am so freaking pissed, and I'm just as angry now as I was then, because what kind of freaking government do we have where the American people get screwed and a handful of bankers walk away with billions of dollars? That's bullshit. But the reason that happens is because the handful of billionaires are the ones that help write the laws and the rules. And they are the ones that give all the donations to the politicians. So see how that works? It's a circle. What do they call it? Circle of life. And so here's the situation. Now they've infiltrated Trump's supporters, and whatever you think about them, I was not a Trump supporter. I am totally against a war in the Middle East. It's a huge giveaway to the military-industrial complex and resource stripping from these countries. And that's the first thing Biden did, walk troops right into Syria's oil fields. And Americans don't even talk about it. It's not CNN and MSNBC. They're not going to say anything about it because they are owned by oil companies and the billionaires. See how it works? It's called manufactured consent. People watch these propaganda wings of the Democratic Party and the billionaires, and they think they're getting news. They're getting propaganda. It's insane. So they've infiltrated organizations. This situation at the Capitol building was orchestrated. If you look at these video clips, there's something going on. People are saying, hey, these people are actors. They're not, this is not real. And there's cameras everywhere. And if you watch the video clips of the woman that got shot in the neck, it's crazy. I mean, it looks like one of these ridiculous emergency simulations that happens where people are all planned. Let's see what happens when we have an earthquake, and everybody do this and do that, and we're going to, it's like a rehearsal for an earthquake situation, which, yeah, it needs to be done. People need to be prepared for these situations, but that's what it looked like. So I'm a conspiracy factist, okay? If you look at history, for instance, Brzezinski, he talked about how they funded the Mujahideen, which was a Saudi organization. It was a Saudi wacko religion. They gave them a bunch of money and guns and sent them over to Afghanistan to fight against Soviet Union. Well, when that all ended, what did the Mujahideen do? Oh, they turned into Al-Qaeda. Oh, God. And now we got to spend 20 years fighting an organization that we created. So what kind of bullshit is that? This is fact. This is not conspiracy theories. Look at the Vietnam War. McNamara. These guys wrote a book about how they created the Gulf of Tonkin incident, faked it, so that they could get more troops into Vietnam. That's one of the reasons why they had to kill Kennedy, because he didn't want to do it. War is a racket. War makes tons of money, billions of dollars for these huge corporations. So if you investigate these situations, it's right there. You can find the information. It's right there. You just got to dig for it or read a few books, for God's sake. It's happened. So now, this provocation that happened at the Capitol building, what did it do? Oh, now we got to build a giant fence around the Capitol building. Oh, now we've got to occupy D.C. with 30,000 troops. Oh, now we got to go after Trump supporters because they are potential domestic terrorists. Oh, now we got to censor misinformation and harmful content that might hurt the American people. And the American people are going along with it because it's called a false flag operation. It's like a Pearl Harbor effect. The American people did not want to get into World War II. Majority of Americans did not want to do it. What happened when the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor? Boom! The American people lined up to volunteer for the armed forces. Suddenly, the population turned, and all they wanted to do was get into World War II and kick some ass. See how it works? It's very simple. We are being played. And the dangerous thing about it is our First Amendment rights are being stripped. What happens when they start looking for domestic terrorists? Potential domestic terrorists. Not people that have actually done something, but people that might do something. That's called thought police. So this is a dangerous situation, my friends and neighbors and family. We are in a dangerous situation. The Democratic Party has gone fascist, and look up the definition of fascism, and that's what you will find. Fascism. That's where we're headed. We need to stop it. You need to join the People's Party, peoplesparty.org. We need a third party because the Republican Party and the Democratic Party are corrupt. They are compromised. Look at AOC. Oh my God! Now she's turned into a warrior for go after the domestic terrorists. Oh my God! I felt like I was going to be killed in there. People were wandering around in the Capitol. That wasn't an insurrection. They've been wandering around in the Capitol building, playing around, putting their feet up on desks, laughing, taking selfies. That's not an insurrection. So I gotta go. Think about it. There's some videos that are very interesting. I'm surprised they're not pulled down off of Facebook and YouTube yet. I guess it's under the radar right now. Check it out. Read a few history books, and you will find that I am right. This is a conspiracy fact. Okay? So have a great day, and I will get back to you again very, very soon. This is Terry Allen, Radical Progressive. It is Saturday, February 13th, 2021. All right, have a great day.